are making another appearance on your computer nets. It's the Shacknews crew, and we're here to talk about the best cameo of 2022. It's us right now in these deliberations. No, best cameo. I think it's somebody that was involved in a game or with a game or with heck a game company that wasn't necessarily the main star of the game or anything like that. You know what I mean? Uh, they just pop up, do their little guest appearance. Okay. So this is a pretty interesting year, and we have I like to get the discussion stuff out of the way, where we kind of like try to define what we're going for here, because I understand why people have picked and we'll just say it, Kevin Conroy as Batman in Multiverses. But he's more than just it. To me, that's more than just a cameo. That's like a main voice cast. Yeah, Batman is my commentator. Batman is my main character.
Would you say someone who's in the game that's not playable? Would that be like regards for cameo that's in the game but not the whole game and not playable? Like we need to have a baseline.
Donovan is a good nomination for.
Yeah.
I don't think I did for cameo.
Oh, I thought you chose. Or wait, who was it? Sorry, I looked at your name. I think it's Ozzy mentioned LeBron James in Multiverses, which is another interesting one, right? Like I guess he could be considered a cameo because he's playing himself.
He's a playable character, and he's not playing well.
He doesn't play himself in the game. It's a voice actor.
Yeah, LeBron James is a playable character. He's DLC content. That's like saying that like Joker is a cameo in Smash. Basically.
Yeah, see, I
would argue that that's kind of true.
Yeah, for MVS, I think that voice people that don't appear as characters, like you can get voice like announcers for like Lady Rainicorn from Adventure Time. That's a cameo because you can't play as that character.
Yeah, that's right.
She only appears to like narrate games and stuff. I think in that case,
the Pokeballs in Smash Brothers, those are cameos when they pop out. Right? You can't control them. They're random. They pop out. They do something. That's like stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like popping in, popping out. It's like Jake from State Farm. In what was it, NBA
2K. If we were doing worst cameo, I would have a passionate argument.
Yeah, or Rob Schneider in Madden.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's another example. Yeah,
we should just make this the Rob Schneider best cameo award.
I think that LeBron James is a valid pick for a cameo in a game. I just think that it's a bad cameo because LeBron James couldn't even show up for his own voice and his own character.
They couldn't afford him. He was probably like millions of dollars. Like that's the thing. You talk to his agent, not him.
I think that's the interesting thing, and I see where you're coming from. Like I feel like Kevin Conroy might be valid because it's not a given that he will always. Before he passed, obviously, there were animated movies where he didn't voice Batman. Like it wasn't a given that he would voice Batman in this game. They could have just as easily gotten someone else, but they got a named actor, a recognizable Batman actor, to voice Batman in this game.
See, I feel like because we have a best voice actor and a best cameo, that like I think let's talk Kevin Conroy best voice actor all day long for sure. But here he is part of the main cast. He's part of the original lineup, and he is very present in the game, both as a playable character and as a commentator. Okay. So I feel like he has more depth than a cameo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You wouldn't call Kevin Conroy as Batman in Arkham Asylum a cameo.
No. It's true.
No, but Robin in Arkham City would be a cameo. That's like a cameo.
Yeah, there you go, Greg. Now you got it. Now you're doing the little soft shoe.
And to that point, Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz in Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is a pretty damn good cameo. I was really delighted. I was really delighted to see not only the likeness, but also picking up the character and playing from right where he left off. He adds a lot to that game.
He's been such an integral part of the series since its inception. Like him and Harold wrote the concept, they wrote the script. Like they're always cool to their fans. Like a lot of the stuff, like people come to Dan and say, "Hey, I wrote this," or "Hey, like we made this thing, this gadget," and he will stamp of approval and be like, "Yep, that's canon. That sounds right." Like he checks all of it off. Let me cover my bias while I'm talking this again. So yeah, he and like he gives it his all. And and like there were two cameos I was concerned, like this one or Ernie Hudson. But the thing with Ernie Hudson is that like he's integral to Ghostbusters, but Dan was like the conception of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was the one who wrote it. He was always been there. He's always nice to fans when he sees them. You know, I've met him once at a supermarket when I was in high school, and like people were dressed up as Ghostbusters, and he was like greeting all of them and taking pictures. He's a really good sport about it. Heavily involved, and like TJ said, like he really embraces that character Ray. Like in not only in the 2009 game, but in Unleashed. Like he goes on a tangent, which is great, which is exactly what you'd expect Ray to do, and he's very heartfelt, and he's in it just enough where he doesn't become obnoxious or annoying or unwanted.
Or a main character.
Yep. Or
like it's character. Not Ghostbusters Spirit. It's not Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed starring Dan Aykroyd. It's
he's an NPC.
You make your character. You go into that shop, and there's freaking Dan Aykroyd, and it's just like that. It's that Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah, it's exactly and like I said, his performance is great. As you can see, like Bill Murray handed in 2009, like he didn't care, like he just showed up. He's like, "Where's my check? I'm gonna do this dry and then leave." But like Dan gave it his all in this. Like you can tell he cared about the project.
He sounds like he's having fun. He sounds like he's having a lot of fun with it.
Which is so Ray. Like that's what he is. Ray was the heart of the Ghostbusters. He likes all this stuff. He nerds out over it. He freaks out. He's the opposite of Egon.
Dude, Dan Aykroyd, he came from a family of like ghost hunters or something like that, right? Greg?
Paranormal psychologist. Yeah, he heavily believes in paranormal psychology as a real art.
Yeah, so I think that's part of why Ghostbusters is so near and dear to him. Yeah, but that delighted me as well. Playing the game, and yeah, Ray Stantz is just such a classic character. Like I love it. I really appreciated like all the fan service that that game has is fantastic. It's great, and then yeah, getting all the different gadgets and stuff like that. Even but like having that stamp of approval, having like two of the original Ghostbusters in the game really takes it to that next step, and it shows how much they cared about the authenticity. So I think like the cameo not only is fantastic from like, hey, holy shit, Dan Aykroyd's in this game. It's also awesome from the developer standpoint that like they put forth the effort to get people like Dan Aykroyd, right? Yeah. Is Annie Potts in it, Greg?
She is not. I know. Like I mean, like I can speculate. I know she's gotten very expensive because she's like does a lot of voice work in Toy Story, so she's gotten very expensive. So they might have asked her agent, and the agent said no, it's too much.
She's also a judge on Law and Order Special Victims Unit,
and she's in Young Sheldon every Friday night at 8.
Oh, I can't watch Young Sheldon.
She's not, but there's rumors of like, she wasn't in it. They got as many people as they could. I know Bill Murray is probably like fuck off. So, but like they got Ernie, and they got 2 out of the 3, and that's good enough for me.
That ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Great nomination, Greg.
And TJ.
Yeah. So, here's one that I was having a little trouble wrapping my head. Actually, the Ghostbusters thing like dawned on me today, and then I looked and I saw that Greg had already nominated it. But this was something I was discussing with Asif, and I think I kind of persuaded him because he nominated it as well. But Lil Nas X became the president of League of Legends this year. Not necessarily in the game, but definitely part of like the finals this year, involved heavily in like all the promotion and marketing. I think he's eligible for the cameo. TJ, you actually were there.
Yeah.
And got to watch like the event unfold. Like how much was he involved in that, like beyond the concert stuff like
that? I mean, like the biggest thing that he contributed was his music, because it was like the theme for League of Legends Worlds, and I would say that is a valid cameo because like that music played in the game for about 2 months leading up to the final competition. It's to the point where I actually don't like listening to that song for. I once I got back from Worlds, I couldn't listen to that song for a while. I heard it every hour, every 30 minutes, over and over, and like to the point where I never sat down and listened to the song from beginning to end, but I could probably sing the whole song lyric for lyric from the beginning to end based on how many times I heard it.
All right, here's your opportunity, TJ.
No. Don't put that
Don't
on
put
me.
that on you. Okay, well, right now we've got Ray Stantz or Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz in Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. And we have Little Nas X. I think that we've kind of made the case that Kevin Conroy went above and beyond just being a cameo. But if anybody wants to argue for that now, speak now or forever hold your peace. All right.
No, I thought that was a good argument against it. I understand that now. So
Yeah,
I
and it's
appreciate
not
you
like
making that clear.
I want to give Kevin Conroy 10 million awards.
Right.
I can think of 10 million awards I would love to give Kevin Conroy now and also before his passing.
5 of them are best Batman.
So, yeah.
Best Batman
I'm gonna save my TJ my sentimental TJ moment for when we get to that discussion. But for now, it looks like these are only 2 nominations, unless anybody has a nomination. Huh? Going once, going twice. Nominations are closed. All right. So, yeah, Donovan. Who are you voting for?
I'll vote for Lil Nas X. I like that they always bring in real world musicians to do their theme every year, and he had a skin in the game. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Gregums.
You got to go with Uncle Dan.
All right. TJ.
Dan.
Morgan.
I'm going to go with Lil Nas X.
All right. Morgan's going down to the Old Town Road. All right. Bill Voy.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. It really was great. Sam.
Gotta give it to Dan.
Yeah, I mean these are 2 really good nominations. Yeah. You know what? This is really tough for me because I am a lifelong Ghostbusters fan. I love the movies. I love the TV show. I love the video games so much. But I think there's another aspect to what Lil Nas X did, like the fact that a company like or a game like League of Legends has someone like Lil Nas X who's very open about like their sexual identity is a step in the right direction for game companies, and it's the kind of inclusion that I want to see more of. So I'm giving it to Lil Nas X this time around. David L. Craddock.
Yeah, that's a great argument. I didn't know a lot about him before we got into this debate, but everything I'm hearing sounds great. I'm sorry, Greg, I don't have any particular affinity for the Ghostbusters, so I'll go with Lil Nas X.
All right. And Denny.
You know, I'm going to choose Lil Nas X. I just had a realization for a nomination, but we already closed it.
You can have your honorable mention. You get 5 seconds.
Well, it was because we haven't actually played the game. The new Need for Speed had A$AP Rocky in it, and he actually did his own voice for a car horn in the game. That's pretty hilarious. And I just thought about that after the fact because I haven't actually gotten to play it myself, but I've seen it in action.
Yeah, I also want to note, like, High on Life isn't out yet, and that game is chock full of a bunch of like hilarious comedian cameos. So, yeah, I feel where you're coming from on that one, Denny. I don't think that a car horn was gonna win this one though. As clever as it is. And with God. All right, and let's see. That's everybody here has voted, right? Donovan, I got your vote. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I thought. Okay, so I know Asif is going to vote for Lil Nas X, and let's see what Ozzy and Stevie T said. Ozzy was going for LeBron James, and I think we decided that LeBron James was not a cameo, right? And he's not even voice acting, so it's just the character.
Cameo is just
it's a phoned in cameo, if anything.
Yeah.
And Steve also picked Kevin Conroy, so I feel like, you know what? I'll give both of those votes to Dan Aykroyd, because it doesn't matter. Lil Nas X, President of LOL, and a song in LOL.
I'm so mad.
That's Cameo
Really?
2023.
Like, really, guys? Really?
We tried, Greg. We tried.
Good
I'm
try,
sorry,
Greg.
Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
I'm sorry.
It's like Lil Nas X said over like
What? Like,